Every morning, there is a very specific moment when you sit on the edge of your bed, place your hands on the mattress beside your hips, and mentally brace yourself to stand up. During that brief pause, you might feel a familiar stiffness in your lower back or a dull ache in your knees, silently hoping your joints will cooperate with you today. That slight hesitation is a universal ritual for many of us as we enter our 60s and 70s. We often blame the calendar for that stiffness, assuming our joints are simply wearing out like old brake pads on a vehicle. But while it is true that joint cartilage naturally thins over time, the real culprit behind your morning aches is often a silent issue called neurological disconnect. Your brain has simply stopped communicating effectively with the deep, invisible muscle fibers that are supposed to hold your skeleton together. Right now, as you are sitting there watching this, I want you to try a very simple test with me to see if this disconnect is happening in your own body. Sit up straight near the edge of your chair, place both feet flat on the floor, and cross your arms gently over your chest. Now try to lift your right foot just 1 inch off the ground without leaning your torso backward or shifting your weight heavily to the left. If you immediately tilted back or felt your lower back muscles strain to lift the leg, your deep core system is essentially asleep. Your brain is trying to move the limb, but the foundational structural support system is entirely disconnected. Please do not feel discouraged if that was difficult to do. This happens because of a highly documented physiological process called sarcopenia, where we naturally lose about 3 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade after the age of 30. More importantly, we lose the neuromuscular junctions, the vital neurological pathways that tell our deep muscles to tighten up and brace before our joints actually move. When those deep stabilizing muscles fall asleep, your spine, your knees, and your shoulders are left completely exposed to the physical friction of gravity and daily movement. Many older adults try to fix this weakness by returning to traditional, repetitive exercises like standard squats or twisting sit-ups. But grinding your aging joints through those repetitive motions often accelerates cartilage breakdown, creating a chronic cycle of inflammation and pain. Instead, we can rebuild your strength safely through a method called isometric tension. Isometrics are a way to contract your muscles forcefully without moving your joints even a single millimeter. Imagine squeezing a thick sponge tightly in your hand without moving your wrist or elbow. Your muscles are doing all the heavy lifting, but the delicate joints experience absolutely zero friction. This method, long utilized in clinical physical therapy and rooted in the ancient structural holds of martial arts, creates a protective muscular armor around your bones. If you are finding this explanation helpful and want to protect your joints, please take a brief moment to save this video so you can easily find these techniques later. We are going to count down the 5 most effective joint-safe isometric holds adapted specifically for older adults, starting from number 5 all the way down to the single most important movement you must do. Number 5 is the upper body hover, a movement carefully designed to protect and stabilize your shoulders. By the time we reach our 60s, standard push-ups or lifting heavy objects overhead can painfully pinch the delicate tendons of the rotator cuff, which is essentially a fragile bridge of tissue connecting your arm to your body. Instead of repetitive pressing that frays those tendons, we will use static tension to build strength. Stand facing a sturdy wall about an arm's length away. Place your hands flat against the wall at chest height. Slowly bend your elbows to lower your chest slightly toward the wall, but stop halfway. Freeze your body right in that position. Keep your elbows tucked closely to your ribs rather than flaring them out wide, and press your hands firmly into the drywall as if you are trying to push the entire room away from you. You will immediately feel your chest, arms, and upper back working deeply, but without any sharp, pinching pain inside the shoulder joint itself. Hold this position for about 15 to 20 seconds, breathing steadily through your nose. This static tension trains your muscles to physically secure your shoulder joint during daily tasks, like opening heavy doors or catching yourself if you stumble. Number 4 is the total body anchor, a movement that connects your arms, core, and legs into one solid, unbreakable unit. Originally, this concept involves getting down on the floor on all fours, but we are going to modify it so you do not have to struggle to get back up. Stand facing a heavy, immovable kitchen counter or a solid table. Place your hands firmly on the edge, step your feet back slightly, and lean your weight into your hands while keeping your body in a perfectly straight, rigid line from the top of your head down to your heels. Now, tighten your stomach muscles and gently press your hands downward into the counter while squeezing your thighs. You are creating a massive, invisible net of tension across your entire body, locking your joints exactly where they belong. Hold this rigid line for 20 to 30 seconds. Number 3 targets your hips and your lateral stability, which is the exact type of strength required to prevent dangerous falls. We will use a modified wide base settle, inspired by traditional wide stances used to build unshakable balance. As we age, our hips often feel incredibly stiff. This is usually not because the joint is permanently locked, but because your brain literally clamps those thick hip muscles tight due to a subconscious feeling of instability. To safely force those muscles to release and grow strong, stand behind a heavy chair, holding the back for balance. Step your feet slightly wider than your shoulders, pointing your toes gently outward. Keeping your chest tall and looking straight ahead, bend your knees and sink your hips straight down just 3 or 4 inches. Press your knees slightly outward so they align perfectly over your toes. You should feel a deep, stabilizing burn in your thighs and outer glutes. Hold this shallow, confident posture for 20 seconds. Over the coming weeks, you can try sinking just a little bit lower, but you must never push into a range that causes joint pain. Rebuilding this lateral strength is your absolute best defense against losing your balance on uneven ground. Number 2 is the wall chair, a highly effective movement crucial for rebuilding the specific leg strength required to climb steep stairs or stand up from a low sofa without desperately relying on your arms. Many older adults completely give up on leg exercises when their knees start aching, mistakenly thinking that prolonged rest will magically cure the joint. Unfortunately, resting only leads to further muscle loss, which puts even more bone-on-bone pressure on your knee cartilage when you finally do have to walk. Traditional squats can severely aggravate this by causing the kneecap to grind back and forth against the joint like a rusty pulley. The wall chair entirely eliminates that damaging friction. Stand with your back flat against a smooth wall and step your feet out about 1 to 2 feet in front of you. Slowly slide your back down the wall until your knees are bent at a very shallow, comfortable angle, perhaps just 45 degrees. Press your entire spine into the wall and push your heels firmly into the floor. You will feel a massive surge of blood flow and muscular activation in the front of your thighs, but your kneecaps will remain perfectly safe and stationary. Start with a simple 15-second hold and gradually work your way up to 30 seconds as your tissues adapt over the coming weeks. Finally, we reach number 1, the absolute foundation of your body's structural armor, the core shield. This is a remarkably safe adaptation of advanced abdominal holds, and it permanently replaces dangerous sit-ups or crunches that actively compress and damage your aging spinal discs. Without a strong, responsive midsection, every other movement in your body will eventually compensate and fail. Lie comfortably flat on your back, either on a firm bed mattress or on a soft mat on the floor. Bend your knees and place your feet flat on the surface. Now comes the most critical step of all. Press your lower back so firmly downward that if I tried to slide my hand or a small coin underneath your spine, I would not be able to. Once your lower back is completely glued down, tighten your stomach muscles as if you are bracing for a cough. Slowly lift both of your arms straight up toward the ceiling. If you feel secure and want a slight challenge, try lifting one foot just 1 inch off the bed while ensuring that your lower back remains completely crushed against the surface. Hold this deep internal tension for 15 seconds, breathing normally before relaxing. Re-establishing this central tension wakes up your deep transverse abdominis, acting as an internal corset and providing an absolute insurance policy for a pain-free spine. These 5 stationary holds prove that you absolutely do not need to exhaust yourself with heavy weights to reclaim your physical independence. By shifting your approach from moving vulnerable joints to engaging deep muscles, you can safely rewire your body from the inside out. I highly encourage you to try just 1 or 2 of these gentle holds tomorrow morning. If you are committed to taking control of your physical health and rebuilding your structural strength this week, please let me know by writing the number 1 in the comments below. And please remember to subscribe to the channel for more gentle, medically grounded approaches to staying strong, active, and fully capable in your 60s and beyond.